Hello friends, it's Parth and welcome to day 7 of my video log. Gosh, what a day it has been today. I've been chewing on the message of the card from last night, which is karmic connections, and what it takes to actually cool the gears. And then not to go into, I guess I will because I think it's entertaining, the continuation of the saga of this Airbnb. Gosh, I went for a walk this morning with the dog with Buddy over there. He is sleeping, trying to sleep at least. And I just got a number of text messages this morning of, hey, remember to do this and don't forget to do that. And I noticed this and I noticed that. And it's wild because I just chose not to respond. And I'm actually really glad that I didn't, because there were definitely certain waves of responses that were moving through my mind. And I'm actually really glad that I didn't, because then he had texted later with some consideration and kindness about other things, like Buddy, for instance. Whenever I come into the place, his dogs are just going bananas. And so I have to hold Buddy and bring him into my room real quick and then take my shoes off and things like that. It was cool that I actually received like a message of consideration. Hey, why don't you let me know next time you take Buddy out, put the dogs in the back. So then this way they don't disrupt each other. And I was like, okay, cool. And I'm actually really glad that I let the whole day go by without, reacting. And I feel as though things are in an amicable place, and I'm still looking for new places and doing the hustle. And this got me thinking, chewing on yesterday's karmic connections card, and then just overall in life. This got me really thinking about, I don't know if any of you are familiar with this, but the 5 waves of thoughts, or the 5 waves of mindfulness, as they describe in Buddhism. So they always say that, I'm sure you all have heard that it takes 18 to 22 minutes to actually focus the mind on something substantial, right? And in meditation, or if you're sitting in stillness, quietness, is that you want to sit for at least, again, 18 to 22 minutes. If you can hit 30, that's awesome. And if you can, for those of you who do an hour, God bless you. You are incredibly superhuman. I'm able to get away with at least 25 minutes. And I see the tremendous value of that. The 5 waves of mindfulness goes the following, and then we're going to do the card as we normally do, but I thought this was really worth sharing. So I was sharing this with a mentee on Friday, and he was like, wow, I can so resonate with that. Okay, so here it is. Wave 1. So when you're sitting down for quietness, usually the first wave of thoughts are the thoughts of the past. What should have gotten done, what did get done, but maybe wasn't right, or all these thoughts that were just of the recent past. And the second wave is the wave of the future. Usually once that wave is done, and it's, what are we going to do? What needs to get done? And the kind of future ideation, future visioning of things, right? So that's the second wave. The third wave, usually if you can let that wave subside, each wave runs about 2 to 4 minutes or so. So if you can let that second wave go by, the third wave, or the third voice, is actually the voice of boredom. And you're going, okay, now that I've thought about the past and that's gone, and I've done a little mental check on the future, and I need to sit here quietly. The third voice is the voice of boredom. And that's usually kind of, what do I do now? And that voice typically lasts, again, another 2 to 4 minutes. After that voice comes the fourth wave, or the fourth voice. And that's the voice of intuition. That's usually when answers from within will start coming through. Things that are answers to things, or answers to questions and queries that maybe have nothing to do with anything you heard, saw, or perceived. It's coming from within you. It's the wave of intuition. That's the fourth wave. The fifth wave, if you can hang out again long enough to even observe that. And the practice here is to sit just as if you're sitting on the bank of the ocean, watching the waves go by, not getting carried away, but also being very present to how they go by and what's happening. So the fifth wave, and this is where the juice is. The fifth wave is the wave of insight. Intuition turns into insight. And what is insight? Is actually, obviously, the cheeky sight within, but it's actually not just, but it's more than that. It's actually now calls to action. It's actually action points that will come through. And this is I don't know if you all are people of God, or you meditate, or you pray, but this is where God's talking to you, or your inner voice is talking to you and calling you into action. Even if the dominant narratives or all the other voices that you hear are telling you to go left, and the voice of intuition tells you to go right, you gotta follow the voice of intuition. Is it right? Is it wrong? Doesn't matter. It actually matters that you've held on long enough and you've heard that voice. Actually, just a few moments ago, I was so exhausted, y'all. I was like laying in bed and I was just tired. I thought to myself, I want to keep my commitment for these vlogs. I don't know for whoever's watching, but this is my own personal practice of 30 days. Today's day 7. So I really definitely want to get to day 15 before I feel the next wave of, do I want to continue or not? We all get that. Because I've been sitting a bit more consistently these days, is as I was taking a shower and I was feeling exhausted, wave of insight came, no, you gotta follow through with your word. Even if it takes you an hour or 2 hours, doesn't matter. Follow through with your word because that's your relationship to yourself. So the 5 waves, to recap. First is the wave or the voice of the past. Second is the wave or the voice of the future. Third is the wave of boredom or the voice of stasis. What am I going to do now? What are we doing now? And that's when you can go a little deeper and just observe all the sensations that are arising in your body. The 4th wave is the wave of intuition or the voice of intuition, answers to things that are coming from a different place. And the 5th wave is the wave or whisper, the voice of insight. It's turning that intuition, letting it marinate and turning it into, not turning it, but allowing it to turn into informed action or insightful action or intuitive action is what insight is. So I hope that was helpful for y'all. What we're going to do next is we're going to do what we normally do, which is pull our card. So here we go. Boom, boom. Drop the mic, yo. Here we go. I feel so good today, guys. It was a productive day. I think I'm seeing a possibility of a new living situation, so that's nice. I thought there was one possibility before it fell through, so we're just going to keep doing our best, getting the rest, staying unattached. All right, here we go. So yesterday's card was Karmic Connections. Let's see. This goes. I can't really do it in the air. We need a flat surface, but here we go. We're just going to... Buddy, where should we cut it, from the middle of the deck? He says, pick the one on top. Is that what you're saying, buddies? All right, he's saying pick the one on top. May this be the most beautiful guidance for Monday to set up this upcoming week with power and clarity. Boom. All right, what is this? Look at this. Messenger. Regardless of when you happen to be seeing this video log, whether you are seeing it recently from the time of this airing, or you just happen to trip on it in your YouTube searches, this card is for you. This message is equally potent for both of us. Messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. You're part of the lineage of souls who have dedicated their lifetimes to the upliftment of the planet, to returning time and again to seed the light, the crystalline ones, the ones who are here to plant the sacredness of life back in. Ooh, beautiful. Look at this. Listen to this. To honor both the sacred feminine and masculine, to usher deep reverence back in. Many ascended masters are thought to be connected to the energy of Sirius, often appearing as a shade of blue. Those of you who love blue, they hold a frequency of pure love, and are here to help the masculine and feminine exist in harmony. That's amazing. To ensure greater balance, to help us see that we're all connected and that the masculine and feminine energies exist within all of us. So true. You're being called to bring about this balance and harmony between the masculine and feminine. By the way, quick aside, this is not in the text, but came up with a cheeky, so as you all know, I do hypnotherapy work and I work with clients as a performance coach, because when we make these shifts in the subconscious mind, our performance radically elevates. So here's a short definition of, I would say, mother wounding or wounding around the feminine, and father wounding around the masculine. So I call it the S&P 500. Cheeky, and I'm going to go back to the text here in a second, but want to know what it is? Mother wounding is your relationship to safety and permission. How safe do you feel? And how much permission do you give yourself to feel what there is and others. So your relationship to that is mother wounding. Father wounding is your relationship to structure and protocols. And along with that comes discipline, delayed gratification, the ability to stick to some things on a regular basis, emotional regulation, all of that. So that's something for y'all to ruminate on, is wherever there's a mature experience or relationship to safety and permission, that's awesome because you're actively working with the feminine there. And where there isn't, there's an opportunity. And the same, if you have a really positive and healthy relationship with structure and protocol, that's awesome. And if you don't, then where might there be an opportunity to tighten the bolts on that? So anyway, that's that. Let's come back to the reading. You're being called to bring about this balance and harmony between the masculine and feminine, to be a guardian of harmony and balance on Earth. Think of the whales traveling around the globe, sharing love through their healing vibrational song. Their unique notes send balance and harmony to every corner of the planet. A rebalancing of the masculine and the feminine is occurring worldwide. It's a resurgence of the sacred within all of us. A returning of the sacred union within. A rekindling of heaven and earth. You can begin to bring harmony and balance by creating it in your own life. The ripples will flow from there, my life and yours. You can honor and balance the sacred masculine and feminine energies within yourself and others. Incredible. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to bring harmony to your life or the planet? How are you being called to honor the sacred masculine and feminine within you? Boy, that really resonates in terms of bringing harmony to my own life and how I can do that, how I can come from that place. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And let's see, a quick reflection on today is I went to go see a number of housing options, one of which was a scam this morning. The person didn't even know when I knocked on the door that clearly it was a wrong door. It was a correct address, but the person who answered the door did not have a room for rent and did not have a space, and clearly told me that I was the fifth person who had come there inquiring about it, and that is a scam. So anyway, we're going to keep on plugging forward. I've set intention for an amazing 2-bedroom by the Lake Merritt BART station. Many of you probably don't know where that is, but it's awesome. It's great. It's close to work, extra space to be able to call in and invite and host friends, family, and maybe even a beloved down the road. So anyway, pray for me. And I love to end with a prayer as my style. At the end of every vlog, I feel called to share at least one of the 4 prayers that I do every day. So yesterday we did one for Ganesh. Today, as we begin the week and as we set ourselves up for the week, I wanted to share the one for Hanuman. So of course, for those of you who, everybody has a different relationship to God and different energies and things like that. For me, what Hanuman means is the energy of surrender and devotion. Also the power of devotion, where in this mantra, it's Mahabalaya Namo Namaha. So with the energy of devotion and the energy of surrender, may the guides, the gods, goddesses, angels, and the ascended masters imbibe me and imbibe you and those in your life with great intelligence, Mahapranaya, and great strength, Mahabalaya. And it's not just necessarily physical, it's mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial in terms of resources. And that may we have the wisdom to be able to meet the moment based on what the moment needs from us. So I invite you all to take a deep breath in, close your eyes. I'm going to say this 3 times. Shri Ramadrutaya Hanumantaya Mahapranaya Mahabalaya Namo Namaha. Shri Ramadrutaya Hanumantaya Mahapranaya Mahabalaya Namo Namaha. Shri Ramadrutaya Hanumantaya Mahapranaya Mahabalaya Namo Namaha. Thank you all for, again, staying till the end. And until next time, peace and love.